Call this meeting to order, Tuesday, July 9th, 2024. We are here to discuss a request for FAA approval of agreement for transfer of entitlements. And I'm going to turn that over to the grant lady to explain that in English.
Absolutely. So there is money that's set aside for the airport every year. And if it doesn't get used to keep it in the state of Idaho, they can shift that around. So since we didn't take advantage of it this last time, Idaho has requested to shift that funding for the airport maintenance over to Bear Lake.
And to make that clear, we didn't take advantage because we had a match that we didn't
Correct.
have
There's
the
a
funds
match
for.
that's included for
Yeah.
those.
That's why we couldn't use it.
We did this exact same thing last year with Valley County Airport.
So we're working on a plan. I mean, it doesn't mean that the money goes away. So we're working on a plan back, and I was just discussing that with Jeff on how to get the match put back in the budget. There's some ways to do it. We will need to have a conversation with FAA, but there's 3 or 4 different funding sources that we can use. So this is just making sure that this funding stays in Idaho for our Idaho airports and keep them up and running. But it doesn't mean that we're losing it. We'll just take advantage of it in a different way next year if we can pull that together. And so we'll start having those conversations.
Yeah, and for the public listening, I think it's important that they know that we couldn't take advantage of it this year because we didn't have the match.
Yeah.
And we weren't prepared for that, but
And the match is money. We had to have allocated, we had to have budgeted a
right,
certain amount to pay the match. We couldn't do it because of our budget problems.
because of our budget problems, so.
And it's not matched. The FAA would prefer that it not be like our ARPA money. So that one's an interesting conversation depending on what agency you're working with. It can be used as your non-federal match unless that funding agency does not want it to be. And so the FAA is not excited about and prefers not to use any. So that would be the lettuce or the Slurpee money, either one. Those are both ARPA monies. And so those are considered federal dollars, and you can't use federal dollars for federal funding in most cases. Treasury has said you can, but it is up to the funding organization to accept that as a match or not. And so we haven't been able to use that for the match to take advantage of these funds, but we're working on finding a way of finding other funding and using that appropriately. So,
Okay.
And this is for like airport improvements, maintenance, things like that. So we'll make sure that we keep that. We've done a great job of keeping the airport up, and so we want to keep on top of that. And just keep moving forward. And there are other sources, including this one. This one doesn't go away. It's just this year's.
Okay, well, with that, I would entertain a motion to approve this agreement for transfer of entitlements.
So moved?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So that is approved, so we can transfer those funds off to which airport?
Bear Lake.
Bear Lake. Okay. Anything further?
Nope. Unless there's
Thank
questions.
you for being here and being on top of it. Appreciate it. With that, we are adjourned.